Folks, it seems everybody's a real estate investor. I'm going to talk about that and get into the latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending September 27, 2023. Everybody's a real estate investor. I don't know if because of what they see on TV, the endless program of buying houses and flipping them, and it's so easy to make money at that. I don't know if it's because they've heard or had a friend who bought a pre-construction and then sold it and made a ton of money, and or somebody who flips houses and renovates. Like, it just seems so easy. But I can tell you how many people get caught all the time that nobody talks about. When I mean caught on the wrong side of that equation, caught on the side of it didn't quite work out the way they planned, and many have financial ruin because of it. It seems everybody thinks it's so easy, though. I'm speaking to first-time home buyers all the time that have the attitude of, I want to buy this house as an investment. It's their first home. It's the home they're going to live in. Or it's the home that they're maybe going to start a family in. But their attitude is I want it to be an investment. Well, indirectly, I mean, they bought it with the sole purpose of living in the basement and renting the main floor. It was all about the investment. And when I spoke with them, the upstairs hadn't been rented yet, and it's been about a year. And I'm like, you told me this was the whole point. Why is it still vacant? And he said, because I haven't found the right person. I said, the rental market is pretty strong right now. I mean, you put out an ad for rent and you got lots of applicants. How have you not found the right person? What it boiled down to, nobody was good enough for him. He was afraid that people were going to ruin the main part of the house. So here's a guy that went in with the whole attitude as, I'm buying this, it's an investment, I'm going to sacrifice, I'm going to live in the basement apartment and rent out the main part of the house. But he was afraid. Couldn't pull the trigger on a tenant, and I'm sure he said he had about 20 offers in the first month to rent the main part. Nobody was good enough for him. He was afraid. But went into this whole, I'm going to be an investor, not understanding, you've got to let go and let people live in the property if you're going to be an investor that way. Another couple that went to go see their house, they're thinking of selling. Also, they bought it not too long ago, about a year and a half ago. The house is a construction zone. And I'm like, so you're looking to plan to sell it this way? And part of their answer was yes. They wanted to sell with rentals unfinished, but these were rentals that they were doing themselves. They bought this thinking that they can do all this work. We've seen it on TV, Google, YouTube videos, our friend how-to videos, and they did some work, and the work that I saw wasn't that nice. It was pretty shoddy, and the rest of it wasn't completed. And they started multiple projects in the house, and their attitude was, we were going to buy this, we were going to fix it all up and make it so much better and make a ton of money when we sell it. That was their attitude because it was so easy on TV and in all the other videos, and so many other people have done it. Real estate investing seems to have become the only way to buy real estate these days. Even people buying a house and just living in it kind of seems like, yeah, I'm going to live in it, but I want to make sure I make money on the other side. Well, maybe many of you listening to this video have lived in your house for 10, 15, 20 years. maybe it's your parents, but a lot of these people, there's lots and lots of people sitting on a ton of equity in their one principal residence. They don't have multiple properties. They bought a house, they raised a family, they paid their mortgage. It wasn't bought with the attitude of, this is such an important investment. It was bought with the attitude of, I need a place to live. I don't want to throw my money away in rent and help someone else pay their mortgage. So if I'm going to pay rent, I'm going to pay mortgage instead. And they bought a house that suited their needs. And then, as their needs grew, later they finished the basement. Maybe it was 5 years later. And then as their needs grew, then maybe they redid the kitchen. But that could have been 5, 6, 10 years later. It wasn't, we buy it today, got it, it's a perfectly good kitchen, but we need stone countertops. And it's a perfectly good basement, but we want open space and a bar. And like, take your time. You don't have to rush into everything and get over your head. This whole world of instant gratification and I need to be an investor and it all has to happen right now. Those people sitting on a ton of equity, in most cases, they didn't do anything for it other than live, pay their mortgage, and just let time work in their favor. And I think even the hardest and worst real estate critics out there will say, if you just hold on to your property long enough, the value will be there, the equity will be there, the appreciation will be there. I don't know what that number is. Is it 6 months? Is it 6 years? Is it 20 years? But if you hold on to your property long enough, the value will be there. It's the instant gratification and I gotta renovate this and I gotta have tenants and I gotta have multiple tenants and multiple properties. You don't. Enjoy your property. I see these people buying a house, they're first-time home buyers, and they got all these thoughts about, okay, I gotta rent the basement and we're gonna keep this for a year and a half, and then we're gonna get something bigger. And it's great to have plans. But so many of these people are getting stuck because they overshoot. Their planning just isn't there, and they're sacrificing so much. They're not enjoying the space that they're in. It's like going on a vacation. You can go on an okay vacation and thoroughly enjoy it, but you decide you want to fly first class and you want the best hotel, and you overshoot your budget, and then at the vacation, you can't eat at the restaurants you want to eat, you can't buy drinks because they cost so much. You're just not getting the full value of that vacation because you can't afford all of it. Whereas the lesser vacation, you probably would have had the time of your life. Same thing with buying real estate. You don't have to have it all this time, first time you buy a home, or even the second time you buy a home. Live there, enjoy it, live within your means, renovate as you need, if it makes sense. You don't need to do everything at once. Not everybody needs to have the investor mentality. Just enjoy the place. Everything will work out if you keep your home long enough. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, is a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers for the City of Toronto. Lots of sellers are feeling it right now. They're panicking. Now, there's different kinds of sellers in many, many different situations. But there's this one type of seller who previously, before Labor Day, tried to sell. Could have been in the spring, in the summer. They've been on the market for a while, not just a few weeks, but for 2-3 months, some of them. They were resisting the urge to lower their price prior to Labor Day. They came off the market and decided the fall, that's when we're going to make our mark and get our price. So right after Labor Day, they came on the market, and they're still sitting there. Now, the reality that they may have to drop their price is really starting to hit home, because their next kick at the can will be next year sometime, could be spring again, and they don't want to wait that long. So they're starting to panic that they may have to reduce the price. And the other type of seller is the one that was not on the market prior to Labor Day, but they were watching everything, seeing 1 or 2 or 3 properties in their neighborhood go on the market unsold, and they waited. It's now the fall, or after Labor Day, we'll say, and they went on the market only to find that's what a whole bunch of other sellers were doing. And now they find themselves competing with other listings. That kind of sits right there in the gut, thinking, man, we're competing, and if they sell at that price, we got no choice but to lower ours. Lots of uncertainty right now. It's a very, very interesting time. It's a very challenging real estate market right now. If you're a seller, you're starting to feel it. Let's get into the numbers. Here's a quick summary of average sold price. This is for week ending September 27th. Condos, towns and semis, and detached market is up here. We're going to start off with the City of Toronto, detached properties only, broken down by week for a whole year. I got a whole bunch of arrows all over the place here. So sales for week ending September 27, 163 detached properties were sold across the City of Toronto, not the GTA, just the City of Toronto. 51 of those were sold at $2 million or more. And for arrows, look, I'm showing that average, that sales have been increasing basically since the other side of the Labor Day long weekend. Prior to that, since May was the peak of sales. That's when sales were dropping down or trending down. Now they're trending up. And it's cyclical. We see this every single year. If we go back to a year ago, here we are week ending September 28th. It's the same week that we're in right now. This year, sales were going up, then up leading to Christmas. They were trending down. Then again, trending up, leading to the peak of the year. It could be April, could be May. Average prices sitting at $1,707,000. Now, average price did come down for this 1 week to the next. However, since Labor Day, average prices have been trending upwards. Although this 1 week they're down. Let's see if that continues. It could, because of the influx of new listings, but right now trending up. But prior to that, average prices were trending down. I've had this conversation many times. It's about behavior, buyer mentality, things that don't make sense, but they actually happen this way. Our most amount of sales, when buyers buy more properties than any other time of the year, it's when prices are the highest, not when they're the lowest. You figure when prices are the lowest, buyers are buying. It's not true. Look at this. When we had our highest prices, that's when sales are the most. It's hard to explain, but that's the way it works. So, compared to last year, $1,707,000 is 12% higher than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,474 is 13% higher than last year's median price. Now, if we were to draw a line Labor Day, leading up to Labor Day, prices, both medium and average, were kind of flat or slightly trending downwards. But since Labor Day, both median and average price have been trending up. 163 were sold. We said 51% of those sold at list price or more. What do we call that? Competitive, somewhat competitive. Half are selling at list price or more. And it's been the same for about 2.5 months right now. Listings. Since Labor Day, listings are way up. Although the last 3 weeks they have been trending down, they are way up, way more properties on the market. Many of those are properties that didn't sell over the course of the summer that have been relisted. Excuse me. Many of those are brand new listings of sellers that were watching what was happening in the summer and thought the fall is where we're going to get our price. But there's a ton new listings. Active listings has shot way up. There's lots of properties on the market. Now, when I say lots, it's relative. Lots to what we're used to seeing out there. Months of inventory, however, came down a little bit, sitting at 2.5 months of inventory. I'm going to go back for a second. Sales are up slightly, but not that much higher. Active listing, sorry, going the wrong way. Active listings is way up. Listings are up. Months of inventory, I'm a little surprised it came down a little bit because I just thought the sales are really not there. But we should see, if it stays on the same trend, we should see months of inventory starting to climb. And when that happens, we'll see prices starting to come down. Nobody can predict the future. This is kind of what I'm seeing over the next few weeks. Here's Toronto, broken down into 9 different sections. For all the city of Toronto, months of inventory is 2.5. There's some neighborhoods, some areas outperforming all of Toronto. Scarborough, as always, very active, 1.7 months of inventory. East York, Riverdale, Beaches, 1.3. High Park, 1.7. Etobicoke, 1.2 months of inventory. Not all Toronto, you're going to experience the same thing. Some, lots of competition, lots of choices, no offer dates. Others, offer dates all the time, almost on every listing that's out there, very competitive. Semi-detached properties, 40 of those were sold, which is less than the previous week. So 40 detached properties were sold. 7 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price for a couple weeks now has come down. It's sitting at $1,297,000. 1,297 is 6% higher than what it was a year ago. The median price is 16% higher than what it was a year ago. And if we look at Labor Day, prior to Labor Day, prices were trending down for semis. After Labor Day, prices are trending upwards. Months of inventory sitting at 2.3, which is up from the previous week. And 40, we said 40 semi-detached were sold. 73% sold at list price or more. Very, very competitive if you're looking to buy a good semi-detached properties. Townhouses. The previous week I was excited. We sold at 18, then we sold 24, and I thought, yeah, we're going to get some freehold townhouse sales going. This week we dropped down to 12. 12 townhouses were sold, 6 of those. So half of all the sales were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price climbed up to $1,278,000. 1,278 is 8% lower than where we were last year. The median price of 1,195 is 4% lower than where we were this time last year. And months of inventory shot way up to 3.3 months of inventory. Condos. In the freehold, especially in the detached market. So, sales trending down. Sales have not trended up at all this year. Well, since our peak in May, 167 condo apartments were sold. 22 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price, however, is trending up. It's been trending up since the Labor Day. It's now sitting at $748,000. $748 is 2% lower than where we were this time last year. The median price of $662 is also 2% lower. And we said that average price and median price has been trending down. Now, I'm looking at the dotted line. That's the 4-week moving average. it's been trending down. The last few weeks, since Labor Day, it's kind of hard to say which way it's going. It's kind of flat, maybe trending up, but there hasn't been a lot of change in condo prices chart here is over the last 3 months. So here we're sitting, say, in the mid 760s. It's lower now. 745, 748 is the average price now. So it's lower, trending down, but hasn't been a ton of change in prices. Sales, 167, we said were sold, 28% sold at list price or more. That percentage has been trending down. That's pretty clear. Listings, similar to detached, listings are way up for condo apartments. Although the last 3 weeks, been trending down, listings are way up. Active listings have shot way up, over 4,000 active listings now. For this week, 4,071 active listings. So lots of properties sitting out there, more properties than before. That number is increasing and sales is decreasing. Months of inventory as a result is increasing. We're sitting at 5.6 months of inventory. For condos, we are sitting in a buyer's market category. That's the buyers seem to be more in charge now when it comes to condos. And I'm saying that, and I really want to choose my words carefully, because many of these condos, just like the detached market, neighborhoods will change what I'm saying here. So I'm talking about as a whole, all the condos, the condo market, but you're going to find some buildings, it's very, very competitive, very few listings, prices are trending up in that one building, and then other buildings is more like this, where the buyers are in charge, sellers are having a tough time selling, and it is very much a buyer's market. Here's a quick summary. Overall, we're either close to or sitting in a balanced market, or it's going to feel like a buyer's market in some neighborhoods, some of the properties. Not too many places where it's a seller's market, but there still are a few pockets out there. It is a challenging market. I've said that before. Who you hire matters. Make sure you get the right information. And you should be working with somebody who's able to adapt to this changing market, because what you did previously to buy or to sell what was working 4 months ago, 6 months ago, is not working today. So make sure somebody you're working with understands what's happening in today's market. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Welcome to 4027 Bloor Street West in Etobicoke. Before I show you the inside of this home, let me tell you what makes it so unique. It has in all 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It has 9-foot and 10-foot ceilings. Each room has its own individual climate control. These are all luxury features you would expect from a custom-built home. But what really stands out in this home is that it was designed from the very beginning for 2 families to live separate in five bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, about 3,000 square feet. So here's the finished basement. It has 10-foot ceilings, an entertainment area, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a private walk-up to the backyard. So this is the private, self-contained, luxurious secondary suite with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Have a look.